Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the Street University. Sorry for the delay in getting on today. We had a little challenge with something on this end, but all is well now. Apologies for that. I trust everybody is doing very, very well. Welcome to a wonderful evening. Today is the 27th of May. For those of you in Nigeria, today is the day you celebrate Children's Day. So happy Children's Day. And to those of us in other parts of the world, happy day, whatever day it is. Happy day. So welcome. Sorry, I know some of you have been waiting for quite a while. Sorry for that hiccup. Hello, Dorcas. Hi. Hi, Esther. Um, Where is Stella? Stella had actually reached out. Sorry about the delay. Okay, I trust everybody is doing well. So get everybody on board. We're going to have a good one. Okay, thank you, Stella. Hey, Vicky. Good, 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 good. Are we all ready for a great one? Imelda, God bless you. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Are we all ready? Hello, Taiwo. Hello, Taiwo. You're welcome. Just 1 minute. Just putting something together. Okay. Welcome, 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 welcome. Oh my God. Today is an awesome day. Okay. Gosh, wait a minute. All right. Yeah, okay. Sorry. Didn't realize my camera was off. Okay. So are we good to go? I think we're just going to go straight into it because we have so much grounds to cover and we lost out on some time. Very, very welcome. All right. Fantastic. We will continue with, of course, we're still on this tangent of change. All right. And I want to look at now the emergence of a new you. You know, we've been talking about change, but what does the new you look like? What does the new you look like? What does the new Stella look like? What does the new Emelda look like? What does the new Dorcas look like? What will it look? Because see, if we don't know what it will look like, then when it shows up, we won't even know if it has happened. You know, and I think that's very important. Defining the new you, because we don't just talk about change for the sake of change. There's always a purpose for change. All right, Stella. So what will that new you look like? I have been through different chapters of my life, and I will share some of those chapters with you, and some of you are aware of the different chapters I have been through in my life. Now, when I look at, there was a chapter where my focus was on music. Okay? That was a chapter. I was going around, I was building mass choirs, I would have concerts all over the country. I would have mass choirs. I once conducted, this must be coming as a shock to some of you. I once conducted a choir of 600 people. You know, I just love choral music, and then so that's what I was doing at a stage. That was one chapter of my life. Then that chapter opened up into another chapter. Now, that other chapter opened up, and I was serving a man of God. And I was going everywhere with the man of God. serving him, playing music at his meetings. So that was another chapter. Then that chapter opened up to another chapter where I was a pastor. Well, I don't know if I was a pastor. I was starting churches. That's more accurate, because I was starting churches and putting people to pastor the churches. So that was another phase, another chapter of my life. Then another chapter of my life, I was like a bridge between organizations in the US, different places, wanted to do stuff with governments and all that in Africa. So I was that link person. And then another chapter was Wale, now the author. So I'm writing, and that now opened up to Wale, the consultant. And that's the chapter we're in right now. But the interesting thing is this. It's been like a snowball. So each new chapter has bits and pieces of other chapters. I hope this is making sense to somebody. And I will be the first to tell you, sometimes you may not know what you really, where you are going. You may not know what you really want to say or whatever. You may not know what it is. What do I really want? But you will know with certainty what you don't want. Let me say that again. Sometimes, what exactly, and this is one of the questions I ask, even in the Reimagine Yourself, what do you want? And the truth is, you can get to a point where, especially people who are multi-talented, so you get to a point where I don't really know what I want, but I know what I don't want. Now, guess what? Guess what? That is a very good place to start. So somebody might be listening to me and say, Wale, I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want. Okay. Do you know the things you don't want? Let's start from there. So I began to eliminate, because I began to have options. Come and work in America. Come and work in England. Come and work in. But one thing that has helped me was that I had my personal vision, mission, everything. I had already defined those. And that was, transforming Africa one mind at a time, which incidentally is now becoming transforming leaders. I think it's now going to become transforming leaders one mind at a time, because I suddenly find myself in a position where I have people from different parts of the world. Now, so I had transforming Africa one mind at a time as a compass. So I don't know what I want, but I know what I didn't want. I didn't want to live in America. So elimination. I didn't want to live in England. Elimination. I didn't want a 9-to-5 job. Elimination. So guess what? By the time I went through the process of eliminating here and there, guess what was left? What I wanted. That's what I was left with. I want to be able to write. I want to be able to make money from writing. I'm not a trader. So I can't do buying and selling. Okay, while you go and import cars from Japan, come and sell. I'm not a trader. Once I tried that, well, the few times I have tried being a trader, I gave everything I was selling away. So I realized I'm not a trader. Oh my God, I gave everything away. But it was so clear by the time, because I could not really articulate what I wanted clearly. But through elimination, I realized that, you know what, at the end of the day, what I really want is to make money from my, absolutely. That's, yeah. So I I realized that what I want to do is that I want to impact lives and I want to make money even as I'm making a difference. And so when I began to write, suddenly that opened up a whole lot of things for me. So remember, we've been talking about change. Now we are talking about the emergence of the new you. What will the new you look like? What will the new you look like? All right? And that's why we're going. I'm taking you on this journey, using my life as a case study. So it's very important. You may not know exactly what you're going to do to get to where you want to be. You may not even know, but you should have a picture of what kind of life you want to live. Everybody needs to have that. You may not know what you are going to do to live that kind of life, but let's start with the picture of success. So the kind of life I wanted to live is a life where I didn't have to rush to an office. In fact, there was a time, when I would leave home at 4 a.m. That's when I would leave for the office. And I would keep doing this. So one day, I was driving to the office, left the house at 4 a.m. Then I just thought, I said, wait a minute. Wale, this is one of the reasons why you did not want to be employed. And I suddenly realized I was now the employee of the people that I had to pay salaries to. I turned back. I went home. Taiwo said, what happened? I said, I just realized I don't have a boss. I just realized I was working myself into what I was trying to get away from. Is this connecting with somebody here? I'm trying to be so sincere with you today. I hope this is connecting with somebody. I realized this is what I was running away for. I didn't want. Now I found myself there again. So I started from the things I did not want. And as I began to peel back the layers of the things I did not want, And it became very interesting because each layer I'm pulling off, that was a new surprise. I didn't want to live. I didn't want that regular 9 to 5 job. I didn't want it. My personality just couldn't handle that. I didn't want to live outside of Africa. Okay? I didn't want to live in a part of Africa where the amenities I was used to in America would be a luxury. I didn't want to live in a part of Africa where simple internet or certain things would be a luxury. I didn't want to be a pastor or to get involved with I'm doing church or whatever. I didn't want to. I didn't want something where I don't have a say over my time. I didn't want something that would take me away from Taiwan, the children. I've done enough of that. So, by identifying all the things I did not want, I suddenly found what was left, and it was now so obvious. It was staring at me. What was left was the very thing I wanted. I would write, I would think, and I will make money from my brain. So, what I want you to do, first of all, tonight, or whatever time of the day it is, why don't you take time and you can do it when we are done with this. Make a list of all the things you don't want. All right? Make a list of all the things you don't want. Be honest. As I began to do that, I suddenly was faced with, wow, all right. Because by the time I peeled off everything, the only thing that was left was be an author and run a consultancy. And that is what I did and has opened up literally the world to me, which is what has led us to this place. And concerning even the Street University platform, in the next week or two, I'm going to have a big surprise as we now open up the platform like you have never seen before. And I'll begin to share with you the journey of where we're going. It's been a long time coming. So who would have imagined that by a simple process of elimination, you can arrive at your destination? I hope somebody is getting liberated tonight. By a simple process of elimination, you can actually arrive at your destination. So so I knew the lifestyle I wanted to live. What I didn't know was what I was going to do to get there. But by elimination, since I had my picture of success, the picture of the lifestyle I want to live, since I had that picture, then things began to fall into place. Then another thing that I learned in the emergence of the new you, never leave anything to chance. Never leave anything to chance. Live deliberately. Live deliberately. So here I was. I knew Okay, so like I said, and I've told you this story over and over, once it was glaring at me that, Wale, just write, read, think. People will pay for your mind. You know, it was such a liberating thing that people will pay for my mind. I remember somebody once said to me, somebody once said to me that, oh, Wale, I wish, and I wrote it in this book, I, Wale. Somebody said, I wish I could have a part. And somebody said to me, Wale, I wish I could have a part of your brain. You know, somebody said that to me, Wale, I wish I could have a part of your brain. And I realized, how do I do that? I can't cut my brain. But I remember when I wrote this book, I, Wale, I said, she walked up to me and said, I wish I could have part of your brain. I said, well, here we go. Here it is. So I realized, wow, I can live the life of my dreams just by leveraging my brain. The raw material. This is the raw material. This is the raw material, all the books around me. That's the raw material. And so that is what I did. So I now became very deliberate. So while some people read books for pleasure and all that, I read books, I enjoy reading, but reading for me is like when you go and buy shoes from Turkey or you go and buy cars from Japan. That is what reading is for me. This is the raw material for my trade. It's the raw material for my trade, and it is what I'm able to monetize for my lifestyle, my brain. So I have to keep the brain flowing. I have to keep it flowing. I have to keep it flowing. Then I can monetize it. So you have to be very deliberate. Once we fix that picture of success, then you got to be very deliberate. Then at some point, that feeling of I don't deserve it will come. When you say, because part of mine is, oh, I want to have an uninterrupted view of the ocean from my house. I want to have A, B, C, D, E. Now, guess what? A point comes when you will now begin to get those thoughts. That's why I've been teaching what I've been teaching. You don't deserve it. You, that kind of place? Absolutely not. You don't deserve it. You don't deserve it. And once you entertain that, and oh my God, this evening I'm going to be talking about the power of imagination. The power of imagination. This evening at our 9 o'clock session. You don't want to miss that. Because once you begin to entertain those thoughts of you don't belong and all that, it will disconnect you. There'll be a break. It's like internet fiber cut. There becomes a cut. So all the energy that should be taking you there, it's flowing, but instead of flowing on, it just begins to come out through that leak. It begins to flow out through that leak. All right. So, very important that so define what your picture of success looks like. Go through the process of eliminating the things you don't want. And then never leave things to chance. Live deliberately. Always remind yourself that you deserve to live the abundant life, the fullest expression of life. And when I talk about monetizing my brain, because that's basically what I've done. That's what I have done. You need to remember there is something, and this is one of the things that helped me. There is something you can do so well that people will pay you more than they will pay other people. There is something you can do so well, people will pay you more than they'll pay other people. And I found out what that my something was. That my something, and it's so funny, it's been with me since school. Is that something where I can gather information, articulate it, rejig it around, process it, and bring it out in a totally different way. That look, I was talking with the author of a book. By the time I read his book, you see, because I am constantly reading, so there is so much information in here. So by the time I took this gentleman's book, the professor, I took his book. By the time I mixed it with everything that was here, processed it, and I gave it back to him, he was blown away, didn't realize this is from his book. So there is something that you can do so well. People will pay you more than they will pay other people. And that is what you must go for. You see, I wrote a book, Why Do Some Dream of Success While Others Wake Up to Achieve It? Because I find that in this world, those are the two kinds of people you have. There are those who will continue to dream of success, but there are those that will wake up and go for the success. So what is it that causes people to wake up? Unfortunately, a lot of people die dreaming. They die dreaming. And one of the reasons why a lot of people die dreaming and they never achieve that picture of success, let me put it mildly, your picture of success will not be delivered on the platform of conformity. Nah. It won't. So conformity is not something you must aspire for. You need to be bold enough to stand out so you can be outstanding and make a difference. Or with somebody hearing me today? Those many people are scared of being different. So they cannot take the steps for becoming super achievers. For instance, think of it. At the time, I remember even my darling Taiwo, at the point many years ago when she said, this was when we first got married, and you see, that's what I'm saying, that deep down, these things have been there. but somehow we allow conformity to beat us out of our unique dreams. There are some of you who have such unique dreams, but conformity has beaten you out of it. So you don't want people to criticize you. You don't want to be different. You've not seen people who are doing it. And I told Taiwo, I said, Taiwo, I would so love we live in the then, based on the information I had, what I knew. Say, I'd love to live in the British countryside and just have cows or by the ocean. Those of you who have been listening to me for many years, I've always said I want to live by the ocean. Now, I'm in Africa. People who write books in Africa generally don't become rich from their books, except you are writing school books and you are politically connected so that your school books can become the set books for the year. But not normally, people who write books in Africa don't become rich from writing books. But I said, we can change that. We can change that. And that's why we're building a whole industry around books. Let me tell you something. I know someone who was a reseller of my books. And it was the money she got from reselling my books that she used to send her son to an international school. I have heard testimonies like that. And so we are creating that platform, by the way. Anybody who wants to be a reseller of my books, send me an email, wale@thestreetuniversity.com. Tell me, and then we'll share with you how to go about that. But with somebody hearing me. And so I suddenly found the life of my dreams. That I can sit down, I can write, and by doing that, I can be monetizing my brain. And as the books are going out, companies are seeing. Then one company, I remember a company ordered 582 copies of it was this, Why Do Some and Help My Chocolate. Now, and they wanted me to sign everything. So you can imagine signing 500 books. But when I was signing 500 books, the motivation is that each book was going for 1,000 shillings. I hope you can do the math. So these are very, very personal stories I'm telling you. I hope it is helping you. Don't let anyone discourage you. Oh, this is Africa. You can't do this. You can do it. Be the pace setter. Donald Trump said in one of his books, most people are scared of thinking big and making big decisions. And that gives a lot of opportunities for those that think big. And I think he has proved that. Many don't break barriers because they are confined to what experts have said. But experts are not always right. There was an email, a video that was going around earlier this week that went viral about this guy that was talking about the fact that scientific breakthroughs are not coming because you want peer review. You want peer review. You want somebody, and they want scientific, peer reviews, who has done this before, let your peers review. But that way you are stuck in the circle of what has been done before, because there is nobody who can review something that has never been done. Nobody. And that's why he was saying electricity did not come from the people who made candles. No, it didn't come from the people who made candles. Oh boy. I hope somebody is getting this today. The experts, let me tell you, listen to this. Listen to what an expert said. He says, I have traveled the length and breadth of this country. I have talked with the best people. I can assure you, data processing is a fad which will not last till the end of the year. That was an editor in charge of business books in 1957, saying data processing will be out by the end of 1957. He was an expert. A senior engineer at IBM commented on the microchip in 1968. He said, what is it good for? These are experts. The president and chairman of Digital Equipment, one of the big tech companies of the 70s, he said there's no reason why anyone would want to have a personal computer in their home. Listen, an internal memo, Western Union, 1876, says this telephone has too many shortcomings to be seriously considered as a means of communication. The device is inherently of no value to us. That was an expert from Western Union talking about the telephone in 1876. Now, we all know movies, Warner Brothers. Do you know that the earlier movies, nobody was talking, they were just motion? H.M. Warner himself said in 1927, who the hell wants to hear actors talk? I hope you are getting inspired. You've listened to some experts. Now you are seeing how experts have missed it. Decca Recording was one of the biggest recording companies in the world. In 1962, they rejected the Beatles. They said, we don't like their sound and guitar music is on the way out. Listen to what Steve Jobs said. Steve Jobs said, we went to Atari and said, Atari was making computer games those days. Said, we've got this amazing thing built with some of your parts. What do you think about funding us? Or we will give it to you. We just want to do it. Pay our salary. We will come and work for you. They said no. We went to Hewlett Packard. They said, we don't need you. You haven't gone through college. And yet, this was Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak trying to interest Hewlett Packard and Atari in the personal computer. They were tech experts of the time. Listen to what a professor of strategy said. He said, airplanes are interesting toys, but of no military value. That's what he said. Airplanes are interesting toys, but of no military value. In 1899, a man called Charles Duell, the commissioner of U.S. Office of Patents, In 1899, he's the expert. He's the one in charge of the Office of Patents. Said everything that can be invented has been invented. 1899. Listen to what the surgeon to Queen Victoria of England. He was appointed to Sir John Ericsson, British surgeon, appointed surgeon extraordinary to Queen Victoria. He said the abdomen, the chest, and the brain will be forever shut from the intrusion of the wise and humane surgeon. He could never believe that a day would come when surgeons can open up the chest, open up a brain, open up the abdomen. He couldn't see it. Now listen, in 1981, Bill Gates said 640K ought to be enough for everybody. For anybody, 640 kilobytes ought to be enough for everybody. Now we are talking gigabytes and terabytes and petabytes. Listen to what a military admiral told President Harry Truman in 1945. He said, "I speak as an expert in explosives. The atomic bomb will never go off." I hope you are tearing off all the things you have heard from experts concerning your vision. Let the new you that's going to change the world emerge. The editor of Listener said in 1936, these are experts, radio experts. Television will never matter in your lifetime or in mine. These are experts. Oh, is somebody hearing me? So what expert are you listening to today? Wale is telling you right now that you have what it takes to own your future. Wale is telling you right now, paint your picture of success. Eliminate what you don't want. Live deliberately, because you will now be left with what you want. Go after it deliberately and aggressively. Don't pay attention to what experts have said you cannot do. The average, look, and we live in an era, knowledge is increasing. The average 5-year-old is probably more knowledgeable in the tools of today, video games, phones, than the average 50-year-old. More and more parents are becoming obsolete in knowledge of how to operate the gadgets in their own house. So I laugh when I see a parent trying to protect their gadgets from their little ones. That 10-year-old knows more about the phone than you. So times have changed. Human beings are wired and equipped for change. That's why when you were conceived, you spent the first 9 months of your life in water, in the womb. And then one day your mother was going to deliver you, the water broke, and you came out to live a new existence. Oh, is somebody hearing me today? You are wired for change. Our very composition and anatomy constantly goes through changes, from babyhood to childhood to adolescence to adulthood. Human beings are constantly in a state of change. And let me wrap this up today by saying this. Unlike animals, we do not have a natural habitat. We create our habitats. Human beings have made roads through mountains, airports on water, landed on the moon, opened up humans' heart, created the internet. Oh, is somebody hearing me? We were equipped to change our environment, not to adapt to our environment. Man that conforms to his environment is operating at an animalistic level of existence. You were not born to conform. You were born to transform. So friends, there you have it. There you have it. That new life, the emergence of a new you. It's waiting for you. What are you going to do about it today? What are you going to do about it? My simple advice, take it. You have the power and you have been equipped to create your own habitat. At 9 p.m., please join me. I'm going to be talking about the power of reimagination on the resource page. We are going to have another awesome time. But I want you to listen to this over and over. Listen to what the experts have said and see how they were wrong, and be inspired that you can be the next big thing. I said you can be the next big thing. You've been scared of going wrong, scared of what people will say, scared of being criticized, scared. Oh no. It's a new day. It's a new day. I said it's a new day. All right. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Does anybody have any? Now, what we will do for next week on Tuesday, I want you to do something. We've been talking about change. So Tuesday, I want you to now, as we go through all these things, the questions you may have, comments, particularly questions you would like me to address, send them to me in advance, wale@thestreetuniversity.com. Send them to me so that we can go through this and I will be able to answer your questions. Again, remember, if you want to be one of our book resellers, just hit me up with an email and we will have that conversation. So God bless you. I will see you later on tonight. And whatever you do, keep winning. Thank you.